When you first talked about this assignment and how we need to talk about when we were learning how to read when we were younger, it brought back a lot of mixed feelings. Um, the most feeling I felt was frustration. When I was younger, I know, like in first and second grade, I was in the young or in the lower reading group, and I remember being very embarrassed about being in the lower reading group. They even had something called the van, and for I think from first to third grade, I remember there were three of us that had to leave during reading time and go outside into an actual big van that they kind of set up like a house almost. And there was a couch and stuff, and we would have to go and see Miss Wickler and learn like different tactics. I don't exactly remember what we did in the van, but I remember that coming back was always really embarrassing. And I know that my friends were always like, oh, I wish I could leave class and go to the van. But inside, I remember it just being really extremely embarrassing. Um, I asked my mom about, how I was when I was younger, and she said that I liked books. I liked a lot of pictures, and we would have to sit in 30-minute increments or, time me and say, okay, Lydia, you have to sit down for this amount of time and read, and then you can go do something else. Um, which makes me think, I must have had a learning disability back then, but they didn't want to do anything about it. Um, Turns out that when I graduated high school and I went to college, I was struggling still. Throughout my whole life, I've been struggling, especially with reading. I could never sit down. And read for a long time. Um, I'd picked any excuse to not read, and I remember after my freshman year of college, I came up to my parents and I said, I want to go get tested for ADD and ADHD. Turns out I do have it. And I got on medication, and my grade point average in college after my first year was a 2.3. Once I got on the medication, I got up to a 3.5 and was on the dean's list. So obviously, there was something that could have been done. Um, this reminds me a lot of Camborne's theory, where you need to believe in your abilities, you need to believe that you can do it, and you need to believe that, there is a, an option for you to be better. And I don't think I ever felt like that. I always felt like sports were my thing and school was going to be second, and sports would get me through. I never had someone really push me. My parents were there, but I think they were more into my sports as well. So, as a teacher, I want to be there for those kids that are struggling. I want to make sure that they don't get left behind. And I'm torn on reading groups because if you have a lower reading group, you know that they need more help. But also, you don't want them to feel that they are in the lower reading group and they will be embarrassed about that because kids understand that and they know that. So, as a teacher, I want to make sure that maybe pairing the better readers with the ones that aren't as great and maybe do like a little tutoring so they still feel like they're part of the group. And I am definitely against taking kids out of the classroom to get extra help because then they for sure know that there is an issue. So really, as an early literacy teacher, just being there for the kids and making sure that they have everything they have so they don't feel discouraged and just give up because that was definitely my experience in learning. Thank you.